Everybody wants the best for their child, and they want their son or daughter not to be cheated out of their success. And unfortunately, parents live vicariously through their children, and sometimes they get caught up in the moment.
Tonight, there's another terrible example of hockey parents losing their cool. Screaming and swearing at their kids' hockey game.
Don't touch me, or I'm gonna cave your glasses in. You got that?
We have another story of hockey violence off the ice.
We've lost perspective on what sports should really be. I mean, less than 1% of kids that ever register in any sport make a living out of it. And what we're trying to do is really bring back and connect the dots to the importance of sport in our society for our kids.
My research is looking at the mandatory Respect in Sport program in minor hockey. One parent or guardian was going to have to take this program or their children wouldn't be allowed to participate, and I thought that that was a really interesting idea and just something that I had never heard, that there is now an online program on respect that was going to allow your child to play or not play in a sport.
Back in 2010, we were looking at what was happening in the arenas and how people were treating and the behavior we were seeing, and we wanted to do something, to get out in front of what was going on and trying to make hockey a better place. And it's all about, the kids out there having fun and playing the game and participating and getting healthy. But we were seeing it start to go in a different direction in the stands. So we were eager to work together with Respect in Sport to provide a program that would help our parents and our players.
What we tried to do was focus on empowering the bystander, creating a simple 101 baseline knowledge of what is abuse, bullying, harassment, discrimination, neglect, to allow conversation to happen and somewhat of a knowledgeable conversation to happen, and to be able to hopefully nip some of this behavior in the bud before it gets out of control.
It was something like 18,000 people had to, because it was everybody that had been in Hockey Calgary had to take it too, not just new people.
As soon as you do an implementation like that, if you really think about it, it's culture change. And we were asked to participate in some research that Mount Royal thought would be very valuable. So that's where we first started working with Julie and the team at MRU.
And make the videos out of real life examples, and then what happened.
First we met with Hockey Calgary and Respect Group to find out their objectives and the goals of the program, and also the objectives and the goals of Hockey Calgary for making it mandatory. And then we went away and created some questions, vetted them through us here, and then sent them to Hockey Calgary and Respect Group, who then sent them out to their key stakeholders to get some input.
It was very collaborative. We had several meetings with them, and the whole goal, I think, of the research was to get valuable information so that when we get that information back, we can make the program even better.
Yeah, well, I think if I think of the findings from the study, definitely awareness was one of them. The opportunity for individuals who completed the program to sort of reflect on their behavior and think about their behavior, and also the awareness of other people's behavior and how that may impact the game or affect individuals in the game.
Once it was implemented across the board, the first year, the incidences of disciplinary hearings for parents and the culture went down significantly, and we've heard that from parents, and they noticed it with the behavior towards refs and in the stands.
I think one of the other findings that was interesting to me was the idea of there has to be better integration, so only having one parent or guardian complete the program really isn't enough. And early on, when I think back to when I first started it, a lot of things we heard on the news were the complaint of, oh, I have to do this online program, oh, it's going to take an hour, who is Hockey Calgary to tell me to be a parent? But then in my findings, I really found things like, it's a good start. It's allowing us to have some similar communication, know that something's behind us to say, like, if I say to you that's not respectful behavior, that, you know, it's not just me saying it, that it's Hockey Calgary now saying it.
We've seen a little bit of relaxation, a little bit calmer in the arenas. We've also seen the ability for another parent to walk over to someone that may be crossing the line and have a chat with them and talk to them and work with them so they don't feed off each other.
And then the third finding was that accountability that goes with that, the idea of making it work, but there has to be some accountability that if a parent is asked to leave the arena for 3 games, they can't be back in 2.
The parents that did take the program said that there needs to be a way to find opportunities for the other parent, the other caregiver, other adults in the family to take the program. We need to figure out a way to educate every adult that's involved in that hockey player's life, not just one that gets certified and goes into the database to prove that they've taken it.
The game is 75% mental. That's what we've heard from since I was a kid, and I don't think it's changed. Well, if the game's 75% mental, you know, why wouldn't we be spending 75% of our time on doing everything we can to make sure the mental well-being of not only our parents, but our young kids and the referees and people that are engaged in the sport are the best they can be?
The whole program was designed so that the child can have a better sport experience and puts the knowledge on the shoulders of the parent to realize what they do and say impacts everything their kid is seeing and thinking.
We want to see kids being active. We want to see kids making friends. We want to see them developing leadership skills and teamwork skills. These kids now are our future leaders, and we need to develop those skills at a young age so they can lead our country into the future.
More education is always good, and so I think if you look at it that way, then maybe it's not surprising that it's being taken up, but every child should have an opportunity to participate in some sort of sport, because the lessons that you can learn from sport are incredible.